Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Remembering Connections with Cindy and Nicole. I'm Cindy.
And I'm Nicole.
Hello, Nicole. You're going to have to get you closer to the microphone, girl, so we can hear you a little bit this afternoon. So we started our show about a week ago, and this is our second show, and we're excited to be here on Radio St. George 100.3. And if you do not know Nicole Ashton, let me introduce you to her because she's a very, very special lady and an international healer, and we're really lucky to have her in the St. George area. So, Nicole, can you tell us a little bit about what happened to you and why all of a sudden you're an international healer?
Oh, all of a sudden, huh?
Yeah.
It's been quite the process, but we will condense it a little bit. So I got the opportunity to cross over, which means die, 9 years ago for 10 minutes. And in this process, I got to learn the body. I got to learn the light. When I was... I got to go into the light, learn my past, present, and future.
Why you were passed over.
And then I got to see what I'm doing now. So I got instructions of what I'm doing, the energy work that I'm doing now.
Right.
And then I moved back into my body. I had an opportunity. I then went 12 to 18 months of learning to walk and talk, and then be in this world. And then I discovered my healing abilities through other people and people showing up and coming to be held. A lot of energy today, so I'm kind of losing.
Yeah, it's okay. No, you're doing just fine. Just fine. So the bottom line is, you did pass away, and you went to the white light that we have read about with a lot of people. A lot of people who have passed away and come back have said the same thing. And some come back with gifts. Some just come back because they want to come back and maybe watch their children grow up or whatever it is. But you came back with many gifts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
And can you explain kind of briefly, because we're going to have somebody talk about your gifts in just a moment, because we have, as you can probably see on the camera, that we've got a beautiful lady in the studio with us, and we're going to talk with Noreen in just a moment. But can you talk a little bit about your gifts that you came back with, and maybe what they said? You said, I want to go back and I want to do this, or is that kind of what it was like?
So when I was in the white light, I was able to see frequency and energy. So energy and frequency are the same thing, pretty much. And here in this earth, I understand that you understand, or that energy is more commonly used. So imagine this biggest, brightest white light of energy that's full of love and full of light and full of masculine and feminine, and it's so merciful. So I knew. So
it's non-judgmental is what you're saying, which is a good thing. Yeah.
Yes. And then when I knew I was coming back, I got to see again. I'm kind of starting over because
That's okay.
my energy must have been off. When I was coming back, I got to see and get instruction of what I'm doing now. And when I got here, I remember seeing my body that was full of water. It's like this dead body weight. And I knew if I brought that energy of love, that energy of compassion, that I would be able to heal my body. And once I literally dove into my body and I woke up, I understood that it didn't matter that I couldn't move yet. What mattered is that I understood that energy that I was applying in my body. And if I would bring that and move through each cell, so your body has these biophotons, which are cells, and they're light. And I knew that if I brought that light frequency of healing or wholeness, that I would be able to then walk and talk and do that purpose that I saw in the white light.
Yes.
And so after I did that, I had to really learn how to understand what people thought here, because I did lose my memory prior. I had to relearn everything here. So as that was happening, I got to really remember like a child would, because I forgot, right? I forgot.
Like what it was like to be in a physical body, what it was like to walk on this earth plane, that kind of a thing? Wow.
And so as I'm relearning from the light how to heal my body, I'm also remembering what it's like here.
Yeah.
And so then I can see that I got to learn peace and conditioning, really compassion for
the rest of us that are walking around in bodies, right? And so you can actually assist us if we need some healing. Okay, so let's talk to the wonderful lady that is joining us. This is Noreen Jessop. Hi, Noreen.
Hello.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us with Remembering Connections on Radio St. George 100.3 FM this afternoon. So we're going to get to the point of how you met Nicole and how you know her and what she does. But before we do, I want to tell everybody, or have you tell everybody, your background. You have three beautiful children, and they were born with some issues, right?
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about that? First of all, tell me your kids and their ages and all of that.
Daron is 10, and he was my oldest.
Okay.
And then I have twin identical girls that are 4.5.
Aw.
Angela and Aubrey.
Cute. Okay, so they were born with a disease, is that correct?
Yeah. We weren't aware of it with any of them.
Okay.
They were born with a disease called PKAN, and that's just the abbreviation for the long word.
And PKAN is not like the nut, it is PKAN, correct?
Yes.
What does that actually stand for?
It's a very long word that I have no idea how to pronounce it.
Okay, so the bottom line is the easiest way to say is it's PKAN, PKAN. And I know that you had a fundraiser for your children just a couple of weeks ago. It was in St. George News, I know. Can you tell us a little bit about what PKAN is? And then I'm going to find out like how you found out that your children had it. So what is PKAN?
So PKAN is where the gut doesn't process B5.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it turns to iron accumulation in the brain. And it just causes so the muscles start, they quit working like
they
normally.
deteriorate like?
Kind of.
Yeah.
A lot of the muscles stay pretty strong for a long time, but they just aren't getting the signals from the brain.
Wow.
And if they do get signals, a lot of times it's the wrong ones. Like it'll cause tension, lots of dystonia. And it's really hard because the kids are completely aware. Their brains are 100% operating.
But their bodies aren't working.
Yeah, but the bodies aren't working.
So how did you, when you first kind of discovered, what were the symptoms that you were finding out with both your son and your two little girls? Like what was happening where you're like, okay, something is going on here. I got to figure this out.
Mostly the walking.
Oh, they could not walk?
None of them have. Well, the twins have walked.
Yeah.
Darren never has.
Okay.
And with Darren, we did a lot of stuff trying to figure out ways to help him, trying to boost him, help him along with development. But no matter what we tried, it
wasn't working.
It wasn't working. And we did some extensive stuff. And so we kind of got worn out with tests and all this research.
So did you have him in first, or did you have all three of them in at the same time? Like the doctor going, what's wrong with my children, right?
We did testing on Darren for 9.5 years before he got a diagnosis.
You are kidding me. You had no idea what was going on. Wow.
We knew,
well, when you knew something was going on, but you didn't know what it was.
Yeah, there was no name for this. And that was
hard to treat something you don't know.
Yeah.
Right? And then you noticed that your little girls were having the same kind of issues. Okay. So does it get any better? Is there something they can do for it to get better?
Right now, they have a drug in the lab stage. Like it's been tested on mice.
Right.
And they haven't tested it on humans yet. The FDA is very encouraged by this. They love it.
Okay. But before this all happened, you met Nicole. Tell me how you met Nicole and what happened with all of that. Because Nicole told me the story. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What are the odds of that? So how did you meet her?
So my children were diagnosed in June.
And you got the diagnosis for all three of them at the same day, right?
Same day.
Oh, my gosh.
And that summer, then Darren was in the hospital the majority of the summer.
Yeah.
Respiratory issues, muscle tension, just nothing was treating it. And finally, one day, I got a appointment opening for another doctor he was seeing. So all three of them were seeing. And it was a Saturday afternoon, and I was like, I don't care. Here we come. We're going.
Yeah.
So,
got to figure something out, right? Yeah.
So we ran into her in her office. She was just signing the lease agreement, and she was kind of looking at my children pretty intensely.
Yeah. And you're like, what is up with that?
I kind of returned it. I was like studying her.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
she told me she did energy work, and instantly I was like, okay, what kind do you want, or what kind do you do? And I want an appointment.
Yeah.
And
I mean, as any mother listening, any mother watching, you would do anything for your children to make them better. And that's where you were at, right?
Yeah.
And so you said, okay, I'm going to make an appointment with you. And you did.
Mm-hmm.
And was it Daron's time first, or did you have all the children at once, or how did you do it?
I actually went first.
Oh, you went first to check it out.
I wasn't sure it's what the kids needed.
Right.
And so I went first, and I was blown away.
Okay, so for people listening, for people watching, because when I went to Nicole, I was blown away as well. I mean, anybody who has gone to Nicole can tell you they will be blown away. They don't even. It's really kind of hard to explain, even, right? Can you sort of explain your process or your experience with Nicole for the first time?
It was really joyful, and that's the best way I can explain it.
That's
is because
the best.
I hadn't experienced joy, like real, just unconditional happiness, like no anything attached, and I was so happy.
Yeah.
And I was kind of shocked.
Yeah.
But like every appointment with Nicole, it kind of sets in over the next couple days, and then knowing just how good I felt was when I called her and I'm like, hey, I'm ready to have all three of my children seen.
Okay, so which one of your children saw Nicole first?
I believe it was Daron.
All three of them came in at the same time.
Oh, they did.
And I saw the girls quickly because my energy's so high that they got really hyper, and so they wouldn't sit still. So I got at their level and just worked with them for like that for a little bit. But then he was able to lay on the table, and we noticed right away that I did, and she got to witness and watch him. It was amazing because his mind was really going a lot, and he was really, really hot, and his body just kind of sank into the bed. And I didn't know until months later that he's not that calm usually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you as a mother looking on, Noreen, are you like going, wow, right? I mean, look what's going on here.
I was completely baffled. He had been on extreme drugs the whole summer.
Yeah.
And
in the hospital too, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walked into her office, and 20 minutes later, he was pretty much asleep, and just calm. He hadn't slept in 2 months.
Oh.
Like not much at all, just little tiny spurts. And then before I know it, her husband and her are somehow able to express emotions to each other. And that was really special to me because I hadn't been able to connect with him at all for weeks, to understand anything he was trying to express, to understand anything he felt, where he used to be totally vocal and could tell me these things.
And you had no idea because it's been so long.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's the thing is, like, a mother and a child, that's like such a bond. And then not to be able to hear him verbally, you don't even know what's hurting on him or what's going on. And like you said earlier, with PKAN, their minds are there. Mm-hmm. They're there. It's just their bodies that aren't working. So that would be, not good. So when Nicole was working on him, he's calm now. He's kind of talking through Nicole and telling you things. What did he say?
So cute. Do you mind?
Yeah, I don't remember actually.
He would his head was arched back because of the how the muscles tense up, and he would just move his head up, and then he locked eyes with me, and he was telling me to please assist his mom into believing in the angels so that he could communicate.
Aww.
And so I started sharing that's what he was saying. And she knew right away because he has certain movements of yes and no.
Oh.
And so we started communicating through her and him that the angels were there. And there was guides and there was some other spirits that were assisting their family in communication. And then he... it was this first time he does amazing now at this, but the first time by the end of the session, see his hands go backwards because of the way that the body twists. But he made his hand all the way up around his head because that will take away his headache. And so I was teaching
he knows
him
how to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that gives me chills.
So when he gets now he can control it more. but he'll swoop his little headache away and put out the window.
So Noreen, I mean, seriously, after the first time, you noticed a difference.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Like no doctors did this. This was Nicole's energy and the angels around and stuff. So when it came time for your little girls to come, this is what I have to know because they're identical twins. Did they have to come together or did they come separately or how did they do that?
Everything they do is together, mainly because I don't have the time to do it one at a time.
Yeah.
I'm like, everything's together. Everybody in the car.
But they're used to each other. They're used to each other, right? So now I know that Daron, and we'll talk a little bit more about Daron in a minute, but the little girls, so they're a little younger, right? So what was their experience with Nicole for the first time?
It's like giving a kid a pot of coffee right before bedtime.
Really?
Yeah.
Hyperactivity? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. They were wired. And they were literally only in her space for a couple minutes, like not very long.
Wow.
And it's taken some real build-up to even be able to have them there for very long. Like now they bend over like their belly's tickling.
Oh, cute.
And all Nicole's doing is just sitting there.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, that's what it looks like anyway to us, right?
Yeah.
We didn't die and come back, so it looks like that to us. So the progress, because how long has it been now? Has it been like a year, or how long has it been that Nicole's been working on all three of your little ones?
Since July.
Okay, since July, and this is March right now of 2018, so July of 2017. So what have you seen, like what couldn't they do before Nicole, and what are they capable of doing now? What do you see the difference in all three of your children?
I think it goes in a group with this because in order for Daron to be happy, he needs to be able to tell me what he needs or how he feels.
Right.
And now I'm getting more to where I'm more in tune and I can almost sense it before he even squawks.
Oh, that's awesome.
If I don't have my head 1,000 other places.
Right.
But and Daron is so connected to the twins, and so if I focus on Daron a lot of times, then it's just it creates a lot of harmony.
Yes, a lot of balance in your home.
He, like she said, he can now move his headaches. He'll move it and send it to the trees.
Oh, that's so
does
awesome!
All the time.
That's so cute. That's so cute. And what? And the little girls then? What were they having mobility issues as well before Nicole? Or are they doing better with that?
They're doing pretty good. They're a lot happier.
That's happy's good, right? Let's be honest. We're like you're in a body. Happy is good. Whatever you can do. So they're more playful and
more playful. They do a lot more. They'll play together where before they were just a lot of drama, and they weren't that fun to be around because they were so needy. And a lot of people when they would come over would just kind of be like, leave the twins over there in the corner.
Yeah,
but they're super fun and happy and. They're doing a lot of things now. They take care of each other, and they don't go places without the other one. They'll sit there and wait for the other twin to make it wherever
that's so
they're
sweet.
going. There's not a huge amount of milestones. They have there was one time they walked my whole entryway without any assistance,
which is a big deal.
Yeah, and that was a pretty incredible deal.
Yeah.
And they'll still do that once I first have to ground and work on them, then they can totally do it still, that's pretty big improvement.
That's a big improvement. Nicole, what from the beginning, last July to now March, what have you seen with the three of them? Like your point of view with that, of the children?
So when I first saw them, in Daron, his structural system and was so tight. Is it contorted? Is that what it is? Yeah. And then I noticed that the more I worked on him, the more he would untwist, and his head would move up, and then his headaches would go away. That's a huge thing with him. But I can tell you this: when she sent me that video of the girls too, I believe I was in Taiwan because I was sending blessings, and I was because I showed everybody the videos. But that day was so amazing for me to understand that by working with Daron and his understanding, because he's been working with it longer,
right? Because he's older.
That it was moving through the family to them. It was amazing.
That's so cool.
Because we saw the girls a couple of times, but they were so hyper, and they would always have to use the bathroom right when they got to my office. So So we were doing it distantly, and so that was like huge. I'm at the mountains of Taiwan, and I was texting her that time, and to see that happen was amazing for me.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I noticed with Daron and what the spirit energy is doing, or the energy work, is when I got back from Taiwan, he got really ill. He got ill before. He was about 3 or 4 days, I believe. And when I got there, he was curled up on the couch.
Oh.
And he was white, and his eyes were gray.
Oh.
And so
sad.
This communication that we had been working on, we put him on the ground and we laid him down, and I just was gently assisting him in putting his body back to where he could feel, because he wasn't feeling anything. The most amazing thing, and I believe you witnessed this, is I just had my hands on his head, and I let him know he's safe and it's okay. Whatever he decides, it's okay, but let us know what he wants to do. And that communication, his eyes went from the smoky gray to blue.
Oh.
Like that.
And Noreen's like, yes, it did. It's amazing to watch, right?
Well, and it wasn't... This is when I finally called Nicole. It wasn't just his eyes that felt great. It was his whole body just felt like it was existent, but there was nothing there.
Oh.
It was,
yeah.
He was going through such a tough time.
Yeah.
And
it's so hard to watch as a mom.
Yeah.
That's where you're like, I want to take it for you, right? As a mom, the worst thing is watching your children go through something like that.
But the fun thing is watching them unwind like that so fast.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly.
And
I've seen videos myself, and I have to say, they love her. They love Nicole. They see her and they light up. And isn't that nice? Because that's what you want. You want them to feel safe and feel loved, and they clearly do in her presence. And then she's made such a difference. Can you tell me a little bit about, I'm guessing you've got a group or something of other parents maybe who have children who have the same issue, the PKAN, and if somebody's listening, and maybe what symptoms do they have to look for if their children, if they can't figure out what's going on with their kids, maybe this is something that their children have as well?
Possibly. We've done MRIs and spinal fluid testing and blood testing and everything.
Wow.
And a lot of things did pull up that the doctors kind of questioned. And the first thing we noticed was at 2 years old, we did an MRI, and he had little light spots on both hemispheres of the brain. Mm-hmm. And the doctor at first thought maybe it was a calcium deposit, and then they told us it could be carbon monoxide poisoning.
Oh, my.
And we beat ourselves up over that for years.
Yeah.
Until finally one geneticist told us, oh, no, that's not carbon monoxide. Wow. But that is usually the first signs, is like developmental delays.
Okay.
Or if it's with an older child, when they start losing
mobility.
Yeah, losing functions. That's first signs for older ones. But with my kids, it was the not talking, not walking, major milestones being clear missed.
Wow. Yeah, that's scary as a parent to watch that.
And I think that there are a lot of genetical disorders that go untreated or or even undiagnosed.
Right.
Because
you can't treat it until you diagnose, right? You kind of know.
People don't even know what this is a lot of times, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. Is maybe perhaps down the road we'll have a cure in place or a treatment in place.
Right? I mean, if they're here and they're lighting up, I know that you've had fundraisers, and we are looking to have a tentative fundraiser at the Falls Event Center, a date to be announced. So we're going to be talking about that, where we're going to be raising money for, the whole foundation of taking care of children in the world and like this. So the bottom line is, for you, you can really say Nicole has made a huge difference for your family and for your children, right?
Oh, incredibly. Like you can't put it exactly into words when it's just completely taken your dark, miserable life. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying, like, emotionally, it had to have been, I can't believe it, right? Then on a physical level, like you said, they're needy. Well, yeah, because if they're losing their functions, you're the only one that's there, you and your husband, right? They have to, doing anything. You kid about that, but that's exhausting. And then you love these children and you want the best for them. And then all of a sudden, you don't know where to turn and what to do.
Yeah. It came at a perfect time where we had exhausted every option.
So, and she continues to see them, right?
Oh yeah.
And are you continuing to see the improvement then?
We can't go more than a couple weeks without seeing her or
Well,
else.
but isn't that interesting? I mean, that you can see that much of a difference, and like again, and maybe we'll give you where you can get a hold of Nicole and stuff, because some of your videos, Nicole, that you have, your children are beautiful, Noreen, and they're so sweet. I mean, there's you can just see the bond between them and Nicole, and just like the genuine love. And what I think is awesome is not only is she helping the children, but your family.
Yeah.
Because it is all about family. I don't care if you have one child, if you have 6 children, it's all about the dynamic that's under that one roof. And it really matters. And if you're scared or nervous, which I have to say, I'm a mom, I would be scared and nervous if that happened. I can't even imagine what you had to go through. And then you get the diagnosis all 3 in one day, to have some kind of relief. I mean, it's priceless.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and not just that, but I feel like this is another thing for our family, is having more love and understanding, all of us together, has opened more doors than I can even imagine. Like it's
all about the love.
It is. And once we start understanding it and learning how to reciprocate it,
yes,
it's been mind-blowing. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah. I so appreciate it, and thank you for sharing what Nicole can do for your children. And I'm excited to meet them someday. Yes. I've seen all the cute videos, and I love them. It was such an honor to meet you, and God bless all of your whole family.
Thank
Glad
you.
that there's the love that's there, and you continue to see Nicole. And when we have the date for the fundraiser and stuff, we'll mention it at the Falls Event Center, and we'll have you back in. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Noreen.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your time. To give each other a little hug. If you want to talk to Nicole, we're going to be taking some phone calls in a little bit. Let me give you. Thanks, Noreen. Appreciate you. 435-879-4100 is the number to call if you would like to talk to Noreen, to Nicole here on the air at Radio St. George 100.3 FM. Would love to invite you in. You're probably looking live on Facebook, by the way, at Radio St. George. You can check that out. And if you want to check out Nicole, you can go to energyhealingbydesign.com. And check out all the information, your stories, Nicole, right?
Yes.
And you've got so many things on there from videos, not just from Noreen and her family, but from other people that have enjoyed your gifts and your talent and healed. And when we talk about Noreen's children, it's really it is about the love, but it's also on the physical level for them. But you heal on all levels, right? Is that right?
I do.
Yes.
And right now, I'm going to start with me.
You're going to heal yourself?
I'm going to bring back my energy. So sharing space with people sometimes is interesting for me because I'm so sensitive, and she was nervous, which shut me down in the beginning.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It looks like we already have a phone call. Are you ready to do this already? 435-879-4100 is the number to call if you'd like to talk to Nicole. We would love to. Are you ready for this phone call? You centered? Yeah. You ready? Yeah. Okay. Radio St. George 100.3 FM. You are on the air with Nicole. Would you like to talk to her today and ask her a question?
I would love to talk to Nicole today.
Awesome. Go. Are you ready, Nicole?
I am ready.
Okay. What is your question?
Well, first let me say every visit I have had has been increasingly more profound.
Ooh, so you've seen her. You can attest to her amazingness, right?
I can feel it now.
Aww. Tell us about your experience with Nicole.
Well, I probably can't put that into words at this point.
Uh-huh.
But my question is to Nicole, how would one go about finding out about past life experiences?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, that is always going to a sacred space for me, because I feel like when you open up your energies, you're able to. Some people believe in past lives and some people don't. So it would be like expressions of yourself or expressions of different energies, because we live simultaneously. If you were trying to do it by yourself, to go in and be in a still space and ask questions and listen. I've shared this a whole bunch of times. That's the listening, because people do ask me a lot of questions, and I find when I give them the answer, they have a hard time following it, because it's like when you go seek that truth that works for you, then it's your story. If I tell you, it's mine. However,
that's interesting. Do you not think that's interesting?
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
And so, like with you, my beautiful friend, to be able to go in and in a quiet space, and either when you're on one of your journeys, to make an intention right in the beginning that's what you want, that's what you want. And one of the most amazing things for me, I guess, is to ask for only the past lives that are going to assist you now. I am a strong believer that past lives that have things that you have gone through, such as suffering, you've already went through the suffering. Why go through it again in this life? So the intention of what lifetime will bring me strength to bring into this lifetime to make a difference.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then grab a pen and paper and always write it down, because we have a tendency to be amazing, and then we don't write it down because we talk ourselves out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We'll have this amazing vision.
We're not sure we actually believe it or saw it or heard it, right?
So you're going to have this amazing vision of who you are, who you were, and who you are in the stars or in the heavens. And then you have a tendency to think it's not true and eventually talk yourself out of it. So I found, like, sharing and finding groups that support this kind of journey assist you a lot too.
Well, thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thank you for calling.
Thanks for calling today.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, what a great call. Yeah, I think that's the thing is maybe we get, I want to ask you this question too, Nicole, because, he brought up the past lives, but that's kind of like getting our intuition too. Some people, they hear that word and they like, what is intuition? So maybe you can talk a little bit about that. But I think you hear something for yourself and it's probably really exciting and it feels full of love and you want to believe it. But then you're like, am I crazy? Is this just like my mind having weird thoughts on me? I mean, don't you find that as humans kind of go there sometimes?
I do. And it's all because of, I feel like it's because of the things you've heard growing up that you
programming.
Yeah, you don't allow yourself to believe that you're great.
It's so true. That's a human, that's all you think it's like. I mean, you now, even though you're in a human body, you're more spirit than a human, is that fair to say to you? So you don't really get into that. But I think as humans, like we get into our heads and we're so judgmental with other people, but we're super judgmental with ourselves. And we don't even look at the greatness that's inside.
Yeah, you don't. And it's just trusting. I think people look, and because everyone seeks that, the belonging.
Yeah.
So they're seeking, but when they find it, they don't trust it.
Yeah.
And
so
sometimes
true.
you need validation, or you seek validation, but then you don't. I found even with my clients, everything I learn is through past clients, is through people. I don't read books, and I just.
You're on a need to know basis with God. When you need to know, God tells you, right? Pretty much. Is that how it is? 435-879-4100. And I'm just interrupting a little bit because it looks like we have another phone call, if that's all right. Hi, Radio St. George 100.3. You are on the air with Cindy and Nicole. Would you like to talk to Nicole today?
Yes.
I don't blame you. Do you have a question for her today?
I do.
Everything I learned is
Okay.
What's your question?
Okay, so
You might want to turn down, there's a little bit of a delay where you're listening to us. So if you might want to turn that down so you can hear us. Yeah, so you can hear us a little bit better. Otherwise, it's a little confusing, right? I understand that. So you just fire away whatever question you have for Nicole.
Okay. Hi, Nicole. It's Brittany.
Oh, hello, Brittany.
Hi. She knows me.
That's good. That's good. You sound adorable, Brittany.
Oh, gosh. So I've had some pretty cool experiences lately where I had a session with her the other day, and I was tasting iron in my mouth. And it was just so weird. I was like, oh, what does this even mean? Well, she told me it was an ancestor that was having a hard time crossing over. And so she helped me clear him, and he was so grateful. And a couple days later, I'm tasting it again in my mouth, and I'm smelling burning, like burning flesh of some sort. And I'm like, what is going on? It was so strong. I've never had that before. And so I am wanting to know what this is. Like, and I quieted down. I went to my space, and I said, okay, what is this? And I saw a line of people just waiting to be helped. And so I just didn't know if they needed someone with a body to help and why they can't cross over, or I'm just so confused.
That's a good question.
Yeah. So I'm like physically tasting things in my mouth and physically smelling these things.
Okay, that would freak me out. I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm so used to it.
Oh, are you? Okay, that's good.
She was born awake.
Okay.
So you opened a door. Your gifts are grand. You do have the abilities to. You are so sensitive. When these lost souls or their souls tied to the earth, when they've had traumas or things like that, and well, with you, I'll just go there. Whoever that is has a biology of belief, alert belief. This means that they were educated here that the light was bad, or the light is good only if you're good. The light is bad if you do not obey these certain things, then you're going to be punished in the light. Therefore, they're hiding. And when through you, they went safely. So now they're thinking that they need to go through you to go to the light.
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't know what to do, and I just had to ask them to calm down. Mm-hmm. I said, I am 37 weeks pregnant, people. I have got to relax. Yeah. And it stopped. It did go away, but I didn't know how to clear them. I didn't know what to do.
So let's just do that right now. Let's just
okay.
Clear you first. Ooh, that baby is just moving.
I know he is.
Yeah, he is. So we're just going to put you in so you're going to ground yourself to the earth.
Okay.
And then we're going to connect you to the highest light, to your higher self, and to the Creator God, whatever that looks like to you. And as this is happening, and why this is happening is because the baby really needs that energy to move away from it. It's not the energy's bad. It is that the energy is taking away from you and what you're doing for the baby. So what we get to do is move that energy that's all around you, and you're going to feel a breeze move through you and around you. Did you get that?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, I see that. So we're just going to move that out and around. You should be able to, now that it's moving to the light now, we just made a tunnel so that they can go. Are you witnessing that?
I'm getting it's intense.
Yeah,
Sorry, I can't really talk. I feel like my legs weigh 100 pounds.
Oh. So move them around a little bit and let that just go down to Mother Earth, and then just let those move. Just move the tunnel or vortex, whatever. Let them just move up in there, and they will go. There's thousands of them. You must be on a land that they crossed over or something. So
yeah.
So did that help you?
Do you feel better?
Yeah, I just hate that iron taste. Like, it is disgusting. And I'm so glad. Well, I also have my stepdaughter here who has a question as well. Is she allowed to ask you right now?
Sure. You bet.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna put her on. 1 second here. I have to.
You're listening to Radio St. George 100.3 with Remembering Connections with Cindy and Nicole. Nicole Ashton on the line with us, and on the air with us, and on the video with us, helping and assisting everyone with her great energy.
Okay, I'll start. Okay.
Do you have a question for Nicole?
Yeah. So I just have lots of anxiety all the time. I get lots of anxiety, and sometimes I don't even, like, know why. I'll be, like, sitting at school, like, hanging out with friends or at the park or something, and I just, like, break out, and it's hard to breathe, and I'm 14 years old, and I've had it for about a year now, and it's really hard to cope with, and I just want to, like, wonder how.
You want it gone is what you want it.
What?
You want it to leave?
Oh, yeah, I want it to leave.
So you're very sensitive. You're an empath, and it's interesting. I have a lot of kids your age right now with the same anxiety. So what happens is everybody around you that you feel that have, at your age, everybody has their own different fluctuating feelings and emotions and things going on in their own homes, but you seem to that seems to move into your space. So we don't want it there. So what you can do is just breathe in this light I'm sending you. There's an energy. It's going to flow through your stomach. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What this is doing for you is creating you to have a firmer core and be centered, and allowing that stuff that you're hearing from your other classmates to just move off of you. The stuff that's going on at home, just move off of you. And I'm actually very proud of you for being so brave to call in today.
Yeah, because that can be an anxiety right there, and you did it.
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah.
Good for you, honey.
So now that you feel this clearing, how do you feel anxiety-wise? Because your heart, I feel like your heart is just now celebrating joy.
Yeah, I'm really calm.
Yay!
I'm talking. I'm coming with Brittany and my dad tonight.
Okay.
With you guys to the dinner.
Okay.
That's awesome. So do you want to ask Nicole how you can keep this feeling, maybe?
Yeah. How am I able to keep that with me?
So everything is about remembering. So right now, as you're breathing in this beautiful yellow sun, let's just imagine this beautiful yellow sun is right in front of you. Be that. Be that. Imagine that the power and the power is energy. Energy is the sun. So you're breathing that into your core, right under your rib cage, and then you're breathing it in. And when you breathe out, imagine it just moving around you. Imagine that you walk in this space and you're just limitless, like the sun. You know, people just you bring people that much joy in life, and that is so possible. And I'm so excited for you to practice this at school, and then let us know how it goes. And I'm really excited to meet you tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for your phone call. Appreciate you.
Nicole.
Have a great day. Okay. Well, that was a good one, because I think you're right. Not only do teenagers, Nicole, seem to have a lot of anxiety, just society alone, because of all the technological stuff that we've got going on, and how we can literally click a button and have what we want, like, at our doorstep in 2 days. Where it doesn't really work like that in the physical world if we've got some issues or got some things that we, haven't cleared out. And that's where you can really assist a lot of people, right?
I can. I believe that I want to do a meditation.
Oh, right now? Mm-hmm. Okay. I wish I had some music for you. I don't have any music for you. But okay.
It's just going to be mostly a visual so that we can all be connected. I am a strong believer that you... well, I'm a knower that we all are connected through the heart space, and that's what's activating right now in me.
Okay.
And so as I'm sitting here and I can feel these energies rising, and I'm like, well, what a perfect time to share.
Okay.
So,
good. So explain to if somebody's listening right now or watching right now that doesn't really know what even a meditation is, can you explain what that is before we do this?
Meditation is stillness. It looks like nothing. There's no expectation. It's just a stillness. Some people can do it for just a gap, like it's just a second. Some people can do it for days.
Wow.
Whatever works for you, it's in that gap of that second that you grow, because it's hard for people. It's impossible for people to grow while they're in their body, not paying attention, because they're never being present to grow energetically.
Yeah.
So what it looks like is right now, we are going to just listen to the voice and see if we can feel the energy in our heart.
Okay.
That's it. So I invite you to take your pointer finger and your index finger on one hand and put it on your forehead.
Okay.
And then on the other hand on your chest.
All right.
this is activating your brain and your heart brain. Do you feel that?
Yeah. It's like connected.
Now feel joy. And that comes with thinking of something like gratitude. What are you grateful for?
Mm-hmm.
And
or what do you love?
What do you love, yes.
Yeah. What makes you happy?
And then when I share this energy with you, there's literally these energy fields. Energy is everywhere. The universe is created in energy. And as the energy is moving through our body, there's wheels of energy, 7 of them in our body, that creates us to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And so
what are those wheels called?
Chakras.
Okay.
In Sanskrit.
Okay.
And they go to your organs of your body.
Mm-hmm.
And they go through their meridians of your body.
Mm-hmm.
This is what your body's made of. So as right now, as we're now present with this heart space, which is the most amazing chakra of all because it connects us all, then we're going to breathe in. Breath is everything. Mm-hmm. Breath is the universal life force. As it moves into you, the breath in and then it moves out of you. You're breathing in the harmony and then out the disharmony.
Oh, I like that.
And this is a way that you can clear every day with just 3 breaths. So right now, I invite you to feel your lower chakras, which are on the around the tailbone area,
mm-hmm.
and think red.
Okay. The color red.
And breathe in. And then your sacral chakra, which is your second chakra, which is behind the belly button, and it's orange.
Okay.
Underneath the ribs is yellow, and it is the solar plexus chakra. And then your heart is green. Be present right now. If you at home, you feel that.
Mm-hmm.
You feel that. And right now we're going to just move away some ties. Somebody has a shoulder pain right now and a back pain. This is called heart chakra releases. And it's going to expand your airway. So when you breathe in, breathe your shoulder blades back and let out that what doesn't serve you anymore. And you're going to feel that move
mm-hmm.
out behind your shoulder blades. And then we move up into your throat chakra, which is baby blue.
Mm-hmm.
That's like freeing to when that is in complete cycle.
And speaking your truth. Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then your third eye chakra, which I'm not going to be there very much because I'm too sensitive there, and it affects me. But it's it's indigo blue.
Okay.
And then your crown chakra is purple, and your crown is right above your head.
Okay.
And then
such a balance.
And your own connection now, you're connecting to your higher self, your truth, and that is the white light that is above you, and then it goes into the Creator God, whatever that looks like to you, that light that loves you so much. And as there's a frequency of love, joy, moving down through this tunnel of
mm-hmm.
light, you're going to feel it just move down each one of those higher energy fields, chakras, lower energy fields, and into Mother Earth. And then you're put on your energy cycle, or it's called a torus,
mm-hmm.
and you're able to clear and cleanse emotions easier because we were born with a fundamental ray. We have it. It's only ours. But
each one of us.
Mm-hmm. And as you're growing up, you tend to borrow other people's because that's what you do.
And they probably borrow yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're now this grown up in all this chaos and trying to find yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is how, because all your information is right in there. This is your design, and your blueprint that you created before you came here is in this energy design of yours.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're connecting to these information centers, if you may say, energy is light. Light is knowledge. So we're bringing that into these centers of your body.
The highest of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are completely aligned like that, you can feel the wholeness and the connection that we all are to all things.
Yes.
And so that will just bring us now into this awareness. Maybe we should do that in the beginning.
Yeah, probably should. next time we'll remember that, huh?
Yes, and that's the beauty of what we're doing right now is it's so raw and real, and people, you know what, do things. If you want to do stuff, do it. Like when I went to the tops of Taiwan, I to find what my next step was in November, and I was I'm like I flew into the hurricane at Houston, and then from there I got invited to go to the Masters of the Tao, and if I wouldn't have just not like stopped thinking with my brain,
you wouldn't have probably gone.
I wouldn't have it because I got on the airplane. 16-hour airplane ride, and I realized that no one speaks English.
Yes.
And I'm going to stay.
Like, I have no idea what's going on right now, but I'm here.
But
right?
I did it. I stood forward, and I went, and people don't do that.
Yeah.
And then they
I think we want to be honest with you. I think our heart's like, let's do this or try this. And then we get scared, and then we judge ourselves and say, yeah, well, that's for other people to do. We can't do it. We don't have it. But you're just saying we all have it. Mm-hmm. That's what you're telling us right now?
Yes. Trust.
Promise.
Yes. Yes.
That's a big thing, though. You know, I think that's that human mind that we talked about a little bit earlier before we took our phone calls. The chattering. There's a constant chattering, whether it's judging of others, whether more importantly, always seems to be judging ourselves so harshly. And then you have these great ideas or this intuition saying, I'm going to try this. I want to do this. And then you shut your own self down.
Yeah.
How do we not do that?
Well, since I don't think like
I know you don't.
But from clients, what I can see is that they're trying to fit themselves in a box that other people made for them.
Oh,
and so as they're doing that, they don't really have instruction on how to get out because they didn't build it for them anyway. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
And so the fear is coming from the
I'm
unknown.
Trapped, kind of like you feel like you're trapped,
and I can't.
Yeah. That word.
Mm-hmm. And so thinking outside the box and wanting to do things different would just take baby steps. It doesn't mean, fly to Taiwan, and because that was my purpose and my to discover my gifts and things. But there's little promptings and intuition, which intuition is that small voice that you've had since you were little, acting on it.
Even say, stop at the store and get this. Because you don't know who you're going to meet at the store. You don't know what's going to happen where something just shifts and changes your whole way of looking at things, right? Is that true?
Yes, I got to tell you.
You got excited.
Yes.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, so Eric and I are driving
Eric is your husband, by the way. Okay.
We're driving to out to Anasazi Trails because I had a client that I knew that energy needed to be transferred from there. I needed to do the phone client from Anasazi. So we get in the car. We're driving down. I says, no, we got to go to Snow Canyon. Mm-hmm. And he's like, why? Like, just do it. So we go through there. And then I kind of got crabby, like grumpy. And he's like, where do you want to stop? I'm like, I don't even know where I want to stop. I don't even think I do. And I know he's thinking,
what? She's crazy.
Then we passed this couple and they're like struggling. And he puts his thumb up. And Eric thought he was just being silly. But I said, stop. You need to stop. Yeah. So Eric stops. Pulls the car over really fast, and we go and ask this older couple if they need a ride. Well, this older couple is from Logan, where it's really cool there. Mm-hmm. The lady just had, they're older, like 70s. The lady just had knee surgery. Oh my! And the guy had something respiratory wrong with him, so he had a cane. Well, they had walked all the way down from the top of Snow Canyon, 5 miles. And they're trying to come back up, and that day was 70 degrees. Oh my goodness! And there wasn't very many people on the road, so we get him in the car, and we drive him all the way up to the lava rock where their car was. Mm-hmm. And the whole time I'm like, oh my gosh, this is why we had to go there. And she said that she's like, I think you just saved a life today. Wow! She was in the back. She couldn't breathe, so I said, I got out of the car and I said, can I assist you? And she said yes. Just put my hand on her and rubbed, just kind of moved down her back out some of the, when you start getting dehydrated, you start putting off a toxin. Yeah. And then I just shared some of my vitality with her, and she beamed right up, and they went on their way. So basically that intuition that tells us to turn left instead of right, or sometimes we don't know why, but we pretty much find out, like what you just found out. Yeah. So then after that, then you went and did what you really were heading towards, the trails and stuff, and doing your client by phone, right? Yes.
Okay, that's really cool. So that's exactly the kind of story. I mean, you may not save a life. They may save yours if you're following your intuition, because who knows? Like maybe you're looking for a new job, and all of a sudden you run into somebody that you haven't seen since school days or something, and like, oh my gosh, I am the boss to this, and I'm looking for someone. Like, well, I do that. I mean, that's that kind of a thing, right? Mm-hmm. And do you find, Nicole, that maybe the more we do this and trust our little voices inside, the more little voices inside we're going to get? I mean, we're going to get more direction for us. Do you find that that happens? If we act more on it, you know what I'm saying?
It will expand because you're vibrationally trusting in the positive reaction.
Yeah,
I guess you might say. So then your energy, your guides, your angels, whatever that looks like, there's an energy field around you. But then it's in cooperation, and it's going to give you more of the stuff that works for you.
Yeah.
And so, but you have to honor that space.
Kind of custom and specific just for you and for your life and maybe for what your desires are. Because I really think, they always say, ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall, find, knock and the door shall be open. That is in the Bible. And that's kind of what it really is. It's really that easy, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And Eric, my husband, can share that with you. He didn't believe in much of anything when he first met me.
Yeah.
And now he gets to write down these stories. And I didn't realize the stories and how many there were before I met him either, because I wasn't writing them down. I was just traveling all over and helping people. And this happened every day. So I also thought that was a normal lifestyle until I met him too and realized that I have a lot of energy.
Well, you are a lot of energy, but even if we, didn't pass away and come back and are always in the white light, we all have that ability to live that kind of life, to follow our guidance and to assist others to their greatness too, right? I mean, that's something that we all came here to do, to help each other.
Yes, and I was given very, very strong instructions about that when I was in the light, that I was doing this, and I was going to show people that they don't have to die to remember how great they are.
Oh, I love that.
That bridging that information from the light to these two beautiful people is the only reason I came back.
Yeah.
And I share through my experience of dying in the white light with you so that you can feel that. It's all about feeling. So now we actually do have thoughts in our heart. They're different than our brain, but we have these. If you would just breathe and go with those, then you come into it.
And they're your thoughts. They're not somebody else's for you.
Uninfluenced, yes.
Yes. If you would like to get a hold of Nicole, maybe find out more information about her, she's taking private sessions in St. George. And if you're outside of St. George, you're watching this video and you're outside of St. George, she does take it through phone. But let's get you to her website so you can check her out and kind of read more about her story, because we've kind of given you, if you will, the Cliff Note version this afternoon about what's happened. But it's energyhealingbydesign.com. That is energyhealingbydesign.com. You can go online. Nicole's number is there, and you look like you want to say something.
Oh, we also are having we just started. It's called a Ray of Hope Foundation, and we assist kids internationally that are either suffering from degeneration. Can't say that word.
Degeneration.
Yeah. Brain disorders or things like Noreen's children.
Right.
But we also have other places that we help with clothing and things like that.
Oh,
so
great.
The center helps kids all over. So we are having a little get-together in my office tonight, and then also that's what the Falls Event Center will be focusing on.
So as far as the event, if they want to go tonight, and we're going to have to say goodbye in just a minute here, can they go to energyhealingbydesign.com, and will it be posted on your website if they want to check that out after the show here? Or where you're located and what's going on tonight?
So go to on Facebook, go to Energy Healing by Design, and it's on the Facebook page.
Okay. So just remember Energy Healing by Design. You can either check Facebook out, Energy Healing by Design, or energyhealingbydesign.com. That is Nicole's website. You've been listening to Remembering Connections with Cindy Nicole. Our second show. We did it, girl. 100.3 FM, Radio St. George. We want to give a big shout out to Sean for allowing us to be on the air. And we'll be back next Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Hope that you will join us, and we'll give you the phone numbers again, and we'll take your calls too. So thank you very much for joining us, and have a great afternoon.